to you live.
Hey, A. Williams, thank you for coming over to Gbutterfly TV. When you come in, please just put in the chat where you're watching me from. You know, here at Gbutterfly TV, we have a good time and just chit chat. I talk about my topics and I get off because I know everybody busy just like me. I try to call everybody's name just to be a gracious host when you come in, to let you know I do appreciate when you come over to Gbutterfly TV. Does size matter? Okay, we got somebody starting early. Donald, somebody. Does what size matter? See, I always like to know exactly what kind of question you answer so I can answer you the right way. I mean, the question that you're asking so that I can answer you the right way. But I can tell you probably already getting started. I need somebody in the chat that's been watching my Gbutterfly TV lives. Let that person know who asked about the size. Let him know, because I'm assuming it's a him. Let him know what I give over here. Carlton, hey, you following the host? I appreciate it. How am I almost ready? I'm almost to all of my goals, and I had a goal of 20 footballs, and I done already got, what, 16 that quick? And I've been on, what, 3 minutes? But I think everybody that's coming in, a BB, yeah, but I need you to type it out so he'll know exactly what he get. Okay, another, I actually typed my topics out so they'll be easier for me to read today. Blocked. Yep, that's exactly what they're gonna get over here. And I see he didn't send his question back through, and if he did, I didn't see it. Talking about, does size matter? We talking about the size of your brain. We talking about, does that size matter? You got to let me know specifically what you're talking about so I can answer you the right way over here on Gbutterfly. We don't play around. We don't do the foolishness. We have a good time. Everybody's adult over here. We just talk about the topics, keep it light, and as you know, we keep it moving. I don't mind answering questions, but you got to let me know exactly what you're asking so I make sure I answer exactly what you want to know. Hey, everybody that's coming in, thanks. Let me know where you're watching me from. Okay, it could be bots. Okay, and you know what? Bots is on my topic today, too. Hair neat, though. Okay. Oh, well, thanks. It's getting ready to come loose tomorrow. It's been up here 3 weeks, and that's too long. Whose fine grandma is this? By Lon in London's. Let me quit playing with y'all. They saying I'm beautiful. Thank you so much. I appreciate the comment. The compliment. I'm sorry. In Portsmouth, Virginia, a 22-year-old Arlisha Boykins, who's an assistant basketball coach at Churchland High School, has been fired for allegedly posing as a 13-year-old player. The player who she was impersonating was out of town playing in another tournament. She was identified from a video by the 13-year-old player's parents, and they notified the school district. She was on camera high-fiving other teammates during the game. Now, the Churchland High School girls basketball team has forfeited the remainder of the season. Are there any coaches in the chat? Who would think to pose as a 13-year-old and go out and play basketball? And you work at the school. You think people not going to recognize you? That was one of them dumb criminal. You know how they had the shows on TV, Dumb Criminals? She fit in that particular mold for the dumb criminal. She is, let's say, have you heard of Lil Boosie? Yeah, I think everybody heard of Lil Boosie. I saw that on TV here in Houston. Wow, yeah. Shaking my head, that's silly. Right, and now she has gotten fired. She then went to school, graduated college, passed a certification to be a teacher, also and a coach. So you know they get extra pay as a coach. So not only is she losing her teacher pay, she gonna lose her additional pay as a basketball coach. What y'all think about that? She could have joined a local club. A local club. Yeah, she could have. She could have went and played like some little adult league in the city. But she want to go play with her own kids. But now let's be mindful. She's 22. And even though she's 22, she could still think like a high schooler. She tried to get her 21 Drum Street on. She sure did. Parents did not want charges filed. They just want the school to offer an apology. Don't know what she was thinking. No, that's just it. She wasn't thinking. She wasn't thinking. Put on that jersey and went out there and got to playing. She probably was living her glory days. She probably played basketball in high school, and she wasn't that far removed from high school and just forgot and just, let me go play it. We short a player. Let me go play. Can y'all imagine that? When I saw that on the news and then I went online and read about it, I'm like, what in the hell was she thinking? Don't know what she thinking. She wasn't. crossing them kids over. Yeah, whoop, whoop, whoop. That's what she was doing. Ooh, they gave me a headache. Sound judgment, as we say at my job. That's a lack of sound judgment. Yes, but she got plenty of time to think it over now. And this happened in Portsmouth, Virginia. So I'm assuming that her teaching certification is for in Virginia. But I wonder, could she go to a charter school and still teach? Could she go maybe to a smaller town who may not know about this and teach and not try to be a basketball coach? Because I really hate to see her go to school to get a to get a degree in education and then get a teacher certification, and now she's unable to use it. Hopefully, this is a wake up call for her to make better decisions. But she's still young, 22 years old, still young. Can y'all sit now and just think? I know I got some people in their 30s, 40s, 50s. Just think back when you were really, really young. And that's if you're not ashamed to put it in the chat. Think of something you did that was so ridiculous that now at the age you are now, you be like, damn, what was I thinking about when I did that? If you're not ashamed, put it in the chat and just say what you did at such a young age. And you thinking back now like, ooh, that was a bad decision. I should have never done that. Why nobody want to answer my question? What question, Muff Dad? I didn't even see the question go through because we over here. She said everybody heard of Boosie. Yeah, everybody heard of Boosie. Boosie badass. That's what you talking about. And let us know if you're talking about Boosie badass. Or Boosie Collins. Depending on your age, you might be talking about Boosie Collins. On that, you know what, Krista? I'm going to make you a moderator. Let me see how to do that. That way, when my moderator, Blended Impressions is really my moderator. And she says she can't come. I think she got a class or something. She says she'll come after her class. I bought trick matches to try to stop my mother from smoking. I got my ass beat behind it. So when you think about that now, who is this Robert Replicas? So Robert Replica, when you think back now, do you think it still was a good idea? Because I know you wanted your mama to stop smoking, so that means you had your mama's best interest at heart. You were thinking about her health. That means you had your mama's best interest at heart. You were looking out for her. But you say she beat your ass for them trick matches. How many strikes did she do before she realized they were trick matches? How many? And where do you find trick matches at? When I did that was super crazy. People probably don't even realize. Hey, I remember, I probably was in my 20s, maybe mid to late 20s. I thought I was Evil Knievel and jumped off my grandma's porch with my bike and you chipped your tooth. Oh, Muff Dad, no you didn't. Did you get your tooth fixed? I hope you got your tooth fixed. I hope you did. Evil Knievel, see, you showing your age, Muff Dad, because only people that's probably my age range and over know who Evil Knievel is. Saint pregnant, had too much fun that summer. Ooh wee. She said too much fun. At us, the basketball coach. Yeah, can you believe she did that? That was dumb. That was real dumb. And I hope that young lady have enough time to think about that and make some better decisions. Because that definitely was not showing signs of good decision making. And this was years ago. I probably was in my maybe mid to late 20s. But I was dating this guy. And ooh, I was just, I liked him a lot. Anyway, long story short, I found out he was seeing this other girl. And I was mad because he had been lying about it. My thing is, don't lie. I think everybody should always tell the person the truth and then let the person decide what they want to do with the truth. Now, had he told me the truth that he was still fooling with this girl because she was the girl he was dating before he started dating me. Now, had he told me he still wanted to see her, that would have been the truth. And I could have made a decision and said, okay, do you? But don't force me to go along with what you want to do. Because by not telling me, you're actually forcing me. That's how I look at it. So just tell the truth and let me decide what I want to do with the truth. Anyway, I'll never forget. He had told me he had to go somewhere. I think it was he said he was going somewhere. I don't even remember where. Something told me, you know how that intuition just be like digging in your side right there? Like, something ain't right, something ain't right. I got in my truck and drove over near where he stayed. I didn't go where he stayed. I didn't have to. Lo and behold, I saw him driving that girl's truck. And they were driving down, you would have to know how Galveston looked. Galveston, you would have to know Galveston. But I was driving down, I want to say it was maybe 28th 28th, 29th, like around RS, somewhere in that range. You would have to know where, you would have to know where I was in a picture this. I turned the corner and lo and behold, I seen him driving the girl's truck. And I don't know if some of y'all remember these old Nissan trucks that only had it was like the little small mini Nissan pickups. And it was just a one-seater because it was a small little Nissan. It was him. They had a little baby that was about maybe 2. And it was her. And so I pulled up. I said, pull over. And you would have to know me to know that's not even my character at all. I said, pull over. And the way I pulled my car in front, he had no choice but to pull over. Because in my mind, I'm like, you finna tell me why you lied to me. And because my thing is, just tell me you want to see somebody else, and I'm going to let you go. Because remember, like I said yesterday, I feel like I'm the prize. If you don't want to be with me, I'm the prize. And again, this was youth, my youth. And I said, pull over. So he kind of pulled over. And I'm like, looking in the car like this. I'm like, what are you doing? He pulls off. So I pull off. Now, you would have to know that this is a 2-lane street that we end up on. I think we were on 29th, I think. Where it's a 2-lane street, it's only 2 roads, one going north, one going south. He started driving, and I just felt like, no, you're getting ready to talk to me. And me and my silliness got on the side of him and was driving side by side while he was driving the truck. And she was sitting like this, looking like this. She wouldn't turn, she wouldn't move in, she was just looking straight like that. So I'm driving on the side. Mind you, I'm so pissed off that all I'm doing is driving on the side of his car. But the lane I'm in is where the traffic come this way. But I was adamant, you gonna pull over. Oh, that's what it was. He hadn't pulled over. So when he did pull over, that was because I was riding side by side and he had no choice but to pull over. But I sit back and I'm like, that was some stupid ass shit I did. Because what if a car would have turned the corner not seeing me and would have hit me head on? Stupid. So I can sit back now and think about it and laugh. But at that moment, I'm like, you get ready to pull over and talk. When he pulled over, he still lied about the girl anyway. And then that was it. We shut it down. At least I shut it down. And that was it. But I thought that was just some silly mess. I wouldn't dare do no shit like that. Nuh-uh. You cut him off in traffic? Yes, indeed. Galveston ball for you. Who is that? Kay? Y'all were so young and that's how the game goes. Yeah, we was young. I think I was in my mid-20s. Probably mid-20s. I know for a fact it was before I even moved to Houston. So I know that was a long time ago. A long time ago. But yeah, I cut him off in traffic. I was like, you finna stop. Wait a minute. Brown sugar, there you go. That man probably want nobody to know his name. Oh, I saran wrap somebody. What? You say you saran wrap somebody's car. Now you know that's crazy. I ain't never heard of no mess like that. How many rolls of saran tape, the saran wrap did it take to wrap somebody's car? Oh my God. Nah, I have never. You got to put in the chat and tell me how many rolls of saran wrap did you buy to have to wrap somebody's car? Because that's a lot. That's a one box. I went under the bottom and wrapped the doors. I'm laughing because you know what? As I'm reading, I'm picturing that in my mind. Now, you didn't went from the passenger door. You done went under the car with the saran wrap, went over the driver door, come back across the roof, back over the passenger door, back under, back. Baby, you did some rapping. You ain't hilarious. And you see how we can think back on some stupid stuff we did and just laugh. That's crazy. H-Town, okay. When you gonna come see me? Malcolm. Okay. Y'all. Now, Malcolm, were you in here yesterday? If you were, you probably heard me tell people quit trying to throw the topics off by asking random questions in the chat. I just happened to see that. Normally, some of them I miss. But I think, Malcolm Dennis, you wanted some attention today. So now you got it. Everybody see your question. I don't know you. You don't know me. So you know I'm not coming to see you. So now you got your answer. All right? All right. Now, the next one come up, you're going to get a boop. And if you've been watching me long enough, you know what that is. All right. Well, you know what? Crystal, I think you the winner with that saran wrap. Oh, I think you the winner with the saran wrap. That is hilarious. Oh, my goodness. I'm keeping my car away from Crystal. That's hilarious. When one of my old dudes was sleeping, I hid his car down the on the dead end. Somebody said they hid they dude car on the dead end. Hey, why would you block me for joking around, trying to have a sense of humor? Well, Malcolm, uh, I didn't know that you were just trying to have a sense of humor, and you throwing off the chat because, like, right now we're talking about a topic, and you throwing out when I'm gonna come see you. That has nothing to. Number one, you know I'm not coming to see you. Number two, it has nothing to do with what we're talking about, and we're trying to keep the chat flowing. You know what I mean? So if you would have said in there something that you did based on the question I asked, something that you have done as a youngster that you look back on now that you regret because you know it was a silly mistake, like this 22-year-old, that's how we got to this topic. See how one topic segue into another topic. So that's where we are. You must have came in late. We were talking about a 22-year-old who made a bad decision. She's a basketball coach. She posed as one of her players and now she's lost her job. And the school that she was a coach for has forfeited all of their basketball games. I've done that too. I hit e-call with a spare key one night so he could think it was told. Crystal, what is it about you and them calls? Well, I wouldn't know the topic because I just joined in. What's the topic? Okay. Crystal, you noticed, Malcolm, your question was totally to the left. You know what I'm saying? Can you see where I'm coming from? And I've had to block plenty of people for saying stuff that was totally out of pocket. And you asking me when I'm coming to see you is out of pocket. So that's it. I'm not even going to comment on that anymore. I'm matured now. That was funny from my early 20s. I know his question was off topic and out of pocket. Thought you might want to visit the great state of Virginia. No, I don't need to visit. I was born there. Good evening. Hey, Blended Impressions. Glad you came over. Crystal, thank you for helping us laugh. But you are the winner. Crystal is the winner of the crazy girlfriend topic. What did he do for you to hide his car on the dead end? You say when one of my old dudes was sleeping, I hid his car down on the dead end. How did he find it? Did you finally tell him that you hid it? What are you doing to these people? I checked his page. Uh-oh. So you checked his page and you seen the wrong number on there. And you know what? You know that was a long time ago. If you check somebody's page, that was a long time ago. When you know it is so funny because when I was moving, when I was moving here 2 years ago, you know you got to pack up all your stuff. You start finding all random stuff. Well, I found old random pager. I'm like, oh, you know that's old. Oh, look, Callie says she found the wrong phone number. Did you know the number though? That's the question. You found the number in his pager that you didn't like, but did you know the number? All of us has done something crazy in our youth and sit back now in our more mature age and say, that was so stupid. What was I thinking? Why did I do that? Damn, I could have went to jail. You know, he called a ride, and when his ride came, he said, man, your car down there. I just came in. I was just trying to break the ice and almost got blocked. Ooh, and you know what? I'm quick on it too. I'm quick on it, Malcolm. If somebody come in and say anything that's halfway out of pocket on this chat, I will block you so fast. I know she's hypnotizing me with those eyes. I don't know about other people. Mutt Dad, what you talking about? I see. Oh yeah, I'm real quick on it, Malcolm. I'll block you in a minute. Because we just like to have a good time. But as long as you follow in the topics and end with the chat, you see how I'm talking in the chat, everybody talking. That's what we do over here. Everybody see that Beyonce is getting ready to go on her worldwide tour. I say, oh, she going around the world and yeah. She going to start off in Europe in May. Yeah, she's starting off in Europe in May. And she's going to have 2 stops in Texas. She's going to come to Houston and she's going to go to Dallas. She's coming to Houston September 23rd. She's going to be in Dallas on September 21st. But she's also going to be close in New Orleans. She's going to be performing September 27th. Now, I tried to look online to see what her ticket prices were. And it says that the tickets are being sold on Ticketmaster, but they have a very strict process for you to purchase her tickets. You will need to be a verified fan to purchase her tickets. And if you're interested, you will need to go to Ticketmaster website to get the detailed instructions. And they said that they're doing that. You have to be a verified fan. You have to go through all these different steps to be able to purchase a ticket, because they want to make sure that people are not going to be buying her tickets and then upselling them when it's closer to the time for the concert. But in Atlanta, Georgia, I don't know where these prices came from, but I did see that on one of the upper levels, her seat was $690. Can you imagine? $690. Are we talking about Beyonce or things we done when we were young? You can still come on in and tell me something you done that was crazy, Malcolm. If I see it, I'm gonna definitely bring it back up, because we're not that far past that subject. But yeah, I'm just talking about Beyonce. I saw today that it's been announced that she's going on a worldwide tour. I told you she's going around the world, and anybody don't ever been to a Beyonce concert? Bria, are those feet? That look like cat paws. What is that? I can't really tell. I had to scroll back up to see. You've been to 3 Beyonce concerts. You know what? I like Beyonce. I'm not a beehiver, but I really like Beyonce. I think she's a talented young lady. But you know what? I still love that Dangerously in Love CD. I can listen to that over and over and over. Out of all the different CDs she's had, I can still go back to that one CD and jam it from the first song all the way to the end. I see that when it first came out in Charlotte, North Carolina, at the mall. Okay, Bees for the Beehive, you Brill, certified member. Destiny's Child in Charlotte, North Carolina, at the mall. Oh, you know that was a long time ago. Can you imagine Beyonce trying to go perform at a mall now? Baby, they'll tear that whole damn building down. And yes to both. I registered to 3 cities this year to increase my odds. I love Beyonce. Oh, okay. I have a niece that is crazy about Beyonce. Like I said, I think she's a good performer. Good performer. Now, when she had that video that came out where she was, I think she may have made it specifically for Netflix. Do y'all? Not Coachella. It wasn't Coachella. What was it called? Was it right after that? Homecoming. That was it. Now, I enjoyed that. I can remember the first time I saw it. Actually, I was sitting getting my hair braided like this when I sit and watched it. It was so good. I thought it was real entertaining. She did an excellent job. And I like how they kind of showed behind the scenes, so that made it even more interesting. That's her Coachella performance. Oh, was it? Okay. Good, Cajun. I'm super excited for the tour. Oh, really? Hot tea. Are you going to go to the concert? You got to show that you're a verified fan to be able to go to her show. Registered online? My little cousin just said she registered online. So you going to be a verified fan? Okay, since y'all are big Beyonce fans, what is the most you would pay to go see Beyonce? Like, what is your threshold and say, nope, I am not going past this to buy a ticket to go see Beyonce? Got 2 super fans, 2 verified fans. Let me know what's the most you would pay to go and see her. I don't, what? B. Shantae. What? $1,000? You a hella fan. My last ticket was in the 200s. I think I'll do 1,000 now. Bless y'all heart. Ooh, I'm trying to think. And I've been a music lover my entire life. Let me see, is there anybody who I would be willing to pay $1,000? It's an experience, but only if I was on the floor I would pay that. I'm trying to think. Is that she's an amazing, I'm sure she is. I bet she put on a hell of a show just based on what I see on TV. And when I saw her do the Coachella performance when she made the homecoming, phenomenal. I just can't see, and I guess since I'm older, it's just certain stuff I'm not going to do with my money. I just can't. I can't see it. I can't think of anybody who I would want to pay that kind of money for. I guess I'm cheap. Who is that? Blending the Prince. I guess my last one was free. My friend got sick, and I was asked to go last minute. Did you go to see Beyonce? Callis Robinson, did you go see Beyonce? Look, Felicia Jackson say, "Oh hell no." Okay, so since we already know that our 2 verified Beyonce fans have already said that they both will pay $1,000, and Mutt Dad say 2,000 for tickets. Mutt Dad, you buy at NRG? Do you remember who did you go see? Was it Beyonce? I'm gonna pay a lot to go see the Isley Brothers. You know what? I saw the Isley brothers a couple of years ago. Ronald Isley still did a good job, but he damn sure didn't move. He sat on top of that stool just like this and sung. He still sound good now. You can't mess with him with that. But he just sat on the little seat like I'm sitting on this seat, and he just sat there and sung. He didn't do any movement. But his brother stood up. Ernie was on that guitar. Ernie was on it. No, this tour. Oh, so Mutt Dad, you say you're paying 2,000 to go see Beyonce? Go ahead then. Now back in the day, you heard me say yesterday that I'm a big Brian McKnight fan. He hasn't been out with any real new music in a very long time, but his other music is timeless. I can remember that's probably the only person I would have considered spending, I don't know, maybe $200 for a ticket because he's such a phenomenal performer. His voice is just like butter. Ooh, he has a good voice. Michael, if he was living, okay, my doctor, that sounds like a deductible to me. Ooh, yeah, it does. You know what you show, right, Crystal? Whitney, okay. I don't know if I would have spent that kind of money to see Whitney. I thought she was a good singer. Bunk Beyonce, my man is Jay Z. Okay. Mud Dad say he now. So you'll pay the 2,000 to go see Jay Z, Mud Dad. Remember the first time I saw Brian McKnight concert, and mind you, I'm a huge fan. The first time I saw Brian McKnight, I screamed and hollered so much that I had to drive. When I was driving my car home, I had to drive it like this. I had a headache. I probably damn near gave myself a stroke. I ran my blood pressure high, but I had to drive like this because I felt so sick and my head was hurting so bad. I think I ran my own blood pressure up, and lucky I probably didn't pass out. But I was just so excited. I was screaming like a little bitty kid because Brian McKnight was such a good performer. Did you cry? Nope, I didn't cry. Have I ever cried looking at a performance live? No. I don't think I'm almost certain that, and I've gone to many a concerts. I don't think I've ever cried looking at somebody live, but I've cried watching people sing on videos if they were singing a song that really touched me. But live, because live is people, so I got to keep my head on swivel and see what's going on. So I can't get that emotionally invested in the person that's performing because I got to still be watching what's going on around me. I paid 2,000 for Boosie Collins, Mr. Rubber Band Man. Okay, Damon, you're showing your age, but that's all right. Cause if you say Mr. Rubber Band Man, I know who you're talking about. Look like everybody laughing in the comments tonight. We're having a good time. So that's what I say. Over here, we just want to have a good time, talk about our top topics, laugh, let everybody get on out and go back to real life. Let's see what's the next thing. Nah, this man was coming out of Sam's Club and got chased around the parking lot with a crowbar. Who does that? And the man was arrested. His name was Sean Grady, and this happened at the Sam's Club in the parking lot in North Houston off of Ritchie Road. Now, can you imagine? Picture this, because I'm quite sure we got 13 people in the chat, so I know at least 10 of us have been to the Sam's or the Costco. You coming out of there, and I even wrote this down. Just imagine, because when people go to Sam's, they're going because they want bulk items. They want to be able to get everything they need and not have to come back to Sam's for another month. Let's just say, me and now, you walking out with your 30-pound bag of dog food, because people buy them big old bags of dog food, 20 packages of paper towel, 40 rolls of toilet paper, 64-count bottles of water, and the food jump out at you like that with a crowbar. You're going to drop all that shit on the ground. Can you imagine that food coming after somebody with a crowbar in the parking lot? I keep telling people, I keep saying, people are just, they going over the deep end. You got to watch it, and see, you got to watch your surroundings. You going to make your groceries or buying your supplies for the month. You walking out and here come crazy with a crowbar and gonna chase you around. First of all, who got enough energy to run around the parking lot at Sam's? How you gonna run around and watch the shit that's on the ground, making sure nobody don't take it? This fool had a crowbar and they had to take him to jail. I say, Lord, you know, I keep telling y'all the crime is getting bad in Houston. Simple things like that adds on to the crime. Can you? I wonder how did he sit in the parking lot to determine which person he was going to go attack with his crowbar? What was he thinking? Oh, you know what? I'm gonna get the one who come out who got 3 cases of water. That's who I'm gonna go attack with this crowbar. Crystal, you say you're gonna hit him with that basket. I think it's something with you and wheels, not necessarily cars. Something with you and wheels. The earrings. Thank you, thank you. I think this is probably the second time I've ever put these earrings on. I got them a couple of years ago, and I got them because they were kind of unique. If you can see them up close, like little beads, and then this little stuff right here. I like earrings. I tell y'all that all the time on this video. I love earrings, and I have to wear clip earrings. My ears are not pierced. So I love earrings, especially if they're unique looking and it's a color that I know that I can coordinate it with an outfit. And like I said, I really haven't worn these, but I thought they were so cute. That's why I got them. I wore them the other day with a t-shirt. That might have been the first time I wore them. It's possible. I really like these. I kind of wish I had them in some other colors, but when I found them, this was the only color, like this turquoise was the only color I found. Did y'all hear that Will Smith and what's his name? Martin Lawrence getting ready to come out with a Bad Boys 4? Bad Boys, so what you gonna do? But yeah, they say they're coming out with a Bad Boys 4. Now, they say the movie was supposed to go into pre-production last year. However, after the infamous Chris Rock slap, they put it on hold. The third Bad Boys movie, it was called Bad Boys for Life, grossed $426 million worldwide, but that was pre-pandemic. So how many of y'all, I mean, if the movie came out, how many of you are interested in actually watching the fourth installment of Bad Boys? I think I might watch it, but I don't think I remember seeing this number 3, where they said it came out pre-pandemic. They say it was right at the beginning of the pandemic. And if it was right at the beginning, I'm sure I didn't see it. You know what? I remember. I wanted to see number 3. And I remember it did come out right before the pandemic. And once the pandemic hit, you know, the whole world just turned upside down. And I kind of forgot about it until just now. That I hope Gabrielle Union not on it. I don't know why, but to me, she doesn't really bring anything to the movie she's in. So I hope she's not on it. Maybe in the movie they can send her on an assignment to Nicaragua to go fight crime over there and not be in the movie. And you know what? Crystal, you probably like me. You can't remember the third one because it came out right when the pandemic started, and then everybody was focused on those 5 alphabets. I wonder if Martin Lawrence didn't put a lot of weight on. I wonder if he's gonna do something a little different before the movie, so he can kind of look like his old. Because was he Marcus? Martin was Marcus, wasn't he? Or was Will Smith Marcus? I don't remember. Does somebody remember? Mike Lowry. That's right. Mike Lowry. He's always say Mike Lowry. So it was Marcus was Martin. Martin was Marcus and Will was Mike Lowry. That's right. Did y'all hear about the monkeys that was stolen from the Dallas Zoo? I don't know why that just intrigued me. But it says that these monkeys were stolen from a Dallas Zoo and were found in a closet in an abandoned apartment in Lancaster, Texas. Earlier this month at the same zoo, a fence was cut open and a leopard was able to escape this habitat. And an endangered vulture was found dead under suspicious circumstances. Do y'all think somebody's trying to sabotage everything they got going on over there at the Dallas Zoo? Because all of these 3 things happened close together. So is it a disgruntled employee? You know, is it somebody on drugs? What is it that's causing these people to do that? But can you imagine somebody had to have been working with the person who let the monkeys out. They either work at the zoo and smuggled the monkeys out in a lunch kit and then took them to the apartment. Because how did the monkeys get in a closet in an abandoned apartment? You know, I'm not an animal person, but I don't believe in just treating them bad for no reason. And just to take monkeys out of their habitat at the zoo and then you're going to take them to an apartment and put them in a closet, now that's wrong. And y'all heard me talk about 2 days ago about how I fed my son's dog. And I'm not an animal person, but I would have never done anything like that to harm that dog whatsoever. But I'm like, something is going on at that Dallas Zoo. And I think they need to have an investigate some of them employees. And it needs to be somebody external, not an internal person. They need to have external investigation, somebody to come in and investigate what's happening over there at that zoo. Zookeepers are in on it. It's no telling, they could, somebody is in on it, because how would somebody know where to cut the fence so that the leopard could get out? Now just imagine, and I'm picturing the zoo that we have here in Houston. Now the zoo we have here in Houston is the Houston Zoo. Great place if you want to take your family. One side of the zoo faces the hospital. The other side of the zoo faces a city park. So I'm just going to use the leopard as an example. There's always a lot of people outside the hospital across the street from the zoo. So can you imagine if that leopard got loose and attacked people that were at the hospital? They were probably going to sell them on the black market. Probably was. And it was the monkey that has the little white hairs that look like a little curled up mustache, beard type thing. That's the type of monkey it was. And I don't know the actual name of the animal. I just know monkey. But it's like a specific type of monkey. Was the leopard captured? I think they were able to find it and put it back in its habitat. But I'm like, who cut the fence to let the leopard out? So that's why I know it has to be an inside job, because how would they get the monkeys? And then a vulture was killed under suspicious circumstances. It's something going on at that Dallas Zoo, and I'm going to try to keep Googling it every now and then just to see what's the update on it. There was a story in Lamarck, and this story is developing. So I know with it being so close to Houston, I'm going to stay on top of it. But in Lamarck, Texas, a woman was found dead at a house that was under construction. The Lamarck Police Department said she was a victim of an assault, but they did not release her identity. So they're probably going to release her identity in the next couple of days. But can you imagine? Somebody's going to work at a construction site and they go in to do their work, and it's a body laying there because somebody assaulted a woman. I say, my God, I wonder what happened. And if you don't know where Lamarck is, I'm in Houston. Lamarck is about 35 minutes south of Houston, between Houston and Galveston. It's considered the mainland because Galveston is an island. And somebody said something earlier in the chat, maybe the future homeowner. Ooh, I hope not. You know, when I was having this house built, every week I would come over here to watch the progress just to see what was going on. And I would walk all through this house. You know, every week you saw more progress. So I would walk in, and once they got the steps in, I was able to come upstairs, look around, excuse me. But I would always come and walk through. And now that you say maybe she was having it built, I think back to when I used to come. That could have easily happened to me. Easily. Maybe the future. Oh, yeah, that sounds like someone that works there. I don't know. If it was under construction, you don't find a lot of ladies in construction. Not to say that they don't. But the majority of the time, you find men that are working construction. Now, I can use myself as an example. When I used to come here to this house when it was being built, people who was probably working here, I think I saw them maybe twice when I came through. Now, when they started putting a brick on, I was coming more often because they were almost finished. So I would see more people because they were bricking the house. But if it's the construction people, if the lady was left there, I bet you somebody knew about the construction and they went there and assaulted her. Because when a house is being built, anybody can just go walk through. My brother and I came here one time because, again, we were coming like every week just to watch the progress. So me and my brother came, and the upstairs, the steps were in so we could come upstairs. So we walked upstairs and was looking up here all around. When we went back downstairs, there was a man, his wife, and their child in my backyard. Technically, it wasn't my house yet because I hadn't closed on it, but I had already had a contract on it. We were just waiting for them to finish building it. And so we went downstairs and we opened up the back door because they already had a door to go into the backyard. And it was a man, like I said, his wife and a child. They were in the backyard. And we walked out. We were like, hey, you know. And then he was very, very friendly. And I still see that man to this day. And I always blow at him and he'll wave at me. And sometimes I still see him and his wife walking. And he was like, oh, is this your house? And I told him the same thing. I said, well, Technically, yes, but I haven't closed, as you can see, because they're still building. And he was like, "Oh, my name is so and so. This is my wife, so and so, and our little girl, so and so." He said, "We actually live around the corner." He said, "But when we saw this house was being built, we wanted to come in and see what it looked like, because, if anybody knows about houses that are being built, you can just walk through and look at them." And I was like, "Oh, okay." But that just goes to show how anybody could have been going through that construction site, or knew that what time the workers left, and went there and say, "Hey, meet me over here," or something, and then assaulted this lady, and and killed her. That's really sad. So I'm going to be watching that, because I know more is going to come out about that. They gave the lady name. She was a laborer. Was she really? Wow. My husband said that she was a construction worker. Wow. I sure hate to hear that. I really do. And it's not often that you find ladies that work in construction. That's why I'm really shocked that you hear that. I sure hate that. And they say she was assaulted. So now the question is going to be about who. Was it her coworkers, or was she left there by herself? Did somebody come there when her coworkers left? It can be all type of scenarios that can happen. But I really hate to hear that. Yeah, but when you typed in Callis Robinson, when you typed in Lamar, that's what, like, oh yeah, I got a story. I see kindness in your eyes, and I can tell you're a gentle spirit. Yeah, I am kind. Very, very kind. I try to be nice to everybody I encounter. I try to be encouraging to everybody, but just don't cross me. 3 people were injured. Now you got to listen. 3 people were injured after an ex-boyfriend fired shots into the house of his ex-girlfriend. She was grazed by a bullet, and her current boyfriend, who was in the house with her, runs outside with a knife to confront the ex-boyfriend who had a gun. Y'all ever heard, you don't take a knife to a gunfight? That's right in the hell what he did. How somebody shooting through the house you in, and you going out with a knife? What you gonna do? When I saw that story, I say this fool went to a gunfight with a knife. Now, I can't call him too much of a fool, because the other man had the gun and he got cut up with the knife. I'm like, did you run out of bullets? How you get cut up with the knife, or the boyfriend who came outside with the knife and you got the gun? And they always say, you sure right, use something in the 801, never bring a knife to a gunfight. Well, he sure did. And he must got a good opportunity to use it, because not only did he cut the man, he cut up himself. So the ambulance had to come take all 3 of them to the hospital. I say, what kind of shit is that? And I know I'm laughing, and it's not funny that they got hurt, because the lady could have really been badly injured because he shot in the house. Bots are taking over jobs, and this is steadily increasing everywhere. And there was a bot that has already taken a state board law exam, and the bot has already passed. So you see how they're already doing away with people. Let's just use Walmart as an example. Kroger's, any store, even Dollar Tree. Now Dollar Tree has stepped up their game, because now you can check yourself out at the Dollar Tree. And I say all that to say this. If you continue with the electronics, human beings are not going to have a job. Somebody didn't pull the trigger fast enough. Maybe he got cut and was worrying about his cut and let the gun go. I thought you were going to say bots are going to take over the world. They may eventually. No way, that's crazy. What a robot want to work? They're going to be programmed to go and work. Because if you think about it, it's getting to the point now, you go check your own groceries out at the grocery store, or whatever store you're in, even at Five Below. You check your own stuff out at stores like that. And it's getting to the point where if they have all self-checkout, do they really need human beings to be a cashier? They can just hire people to stock the aisles. Eventually, if they get enough bots, the bots will come and stock that too. So I said that just to say it's getting to the point where what they call it, AI, artificial intelligence, is really going to potentially replace humans. Probably years, and we'll probably be long dead and turned into ash and dust by the time that happens. But can you see that the world is moving in that direction? When you do self-checkout, you're working for free. Yeah, you really are. And it's so funny. I saw somebody crack a joke on Instagram the other day to say he walked in. He said Walmart. He walked into the Walmart break room, And somebody said, "Oh, you're not supposed to be in here. This is for employee." He said, "Well, hell, I just worked and checked out all my groceries, so I'm gonna come back here and take a break with y'all." But a robot lawyer, robots don't need to practice law. The robot went in there and passed the state bar test. But remember, they have to be programmed by somebody. So that really means that even though we may have bots doing everything, can you imagine a human behind that who can make these artificial things do all of this stuff? That's a lot of power. What happened when those robots break down twice a year at $200,000 and AI already exists? Robert, I think you are absolutely right. I need my W-2 from Walmart. Yeah, as much as we have to self checkout, we seen the movie I Robot. You know what? I never saw I Robot. I've never seen that movie, but there's a lot of movies I haven't seen. And it's so funny when I'm at work and my employees come in my office and they'll start talking about movies current or movies old. They be like, "Damn, boss, you haven't seen that?" And I'm like, "No." And it's movies that they just assume I would have already seen, but there's a lot of stuff I haven't seen, like Forrest Gump. I've never seen that movie. And when they were talking about it at work, they were all looking at me like I had horns growing out of my head. They were like, we can't believe you've never seen a Forrest Gump." I'm like, "Nope, I've never seen it." Being that I'm ex-Navy, I would know they've got technology that the public is totally unaware of. Well, I'm quite sure that the military have a whole lot that Americans are just not aware of. Not just the military, the government have a lot that they have access to that we are just we don't know. And did anybody watch the live streaming of Tyree Nichols' funeral? I know it's live streaming on. I'm fine. How are you? They were live streaming it on Fox. Did anybody watch that today? I know that Al Sharpton was going to give the eulogy, and Vice President Kamala Harris was there. I don't know if she spoke. I don't know what was her role in the service. Everybody said no, they didn't watch it. I didn't watch it either. I can remember I was looking up some information at work that I had to go to the internet to look for it, and I came across something came through and say live streaming Tyree, and I just clicked on it, and it just showed everybody sitting down, and Kamala Harris looked like she was leaning over talking to somebody. I don't know who it was, but it was live streamed. And when I see these big public services and you have all of these celebrities and high profile people that go to the services and actually want to have a part in the service, do y'all ever wonder why they want to do that? Imagine no have nam. Do y'all ever wonder why people that's just high profile individuals want to go and participate at funerals such as this? And you know that had they just died a regular death or, just, I've often wondered why. What's the draw for these people to want to go to these funerals? I've often wondered that. Do you think sometimes they do it just for notoriety? Tell me in the comments, what do y'all think about that? As an example, George Floyd. I think he had multiple funerals all over the country. Y'all, do anybody find that strange? Just let me know in the comments. I'm curious to know what you think. When I go to glory, don't have no stranger speaking at my service. I know I want somebody who knew me, the real me. Yes, they do. They do it for notoriety. I've often wondered that. I was talking about that when I was driving home from work. I was on the phone and I was saying, what is the purpose? And I wonder, how do families really, really, really feel about that? And are they pressured from people? Oh, you need to I'm just going to use Al Sharpton as an example because he's there. I wonder, do they get pressured from people to say, hey, you really need to let Al Sharpton, he wants to do the eulogy. But what if this young man has been a member of a church for his entire life and the minister of that church really knows this young man and who it would be more befitting for him to preach the eulogy versus, and again, I'm just using Al Sharpton because he was there, Al Sharpton from New York, who doesn't know anything about this young man. So I've often wondered what makes the family decide, yeah, we're gonna have I'm gonna let Al Sharpton come and speak the eulogy over my son's funeral, or I'm gonna let this person come. That's just baffling to me. What do y'all think about that? I think they want to show support, but what happens for real change? I can agree with that. Because tomorrow, where are they going to be? And the situation that got us here is still, it's still present. So, and they're going on. The cameras have cut off. Social media then probably got cut by 50% because, social media, when that's over, they're going on to the next story. So I've just often wondered why. Why do they do that? And you got the number one glitter badge. Okay, thanks for the rose, Scotty. I appreciate that. So anybody else in the chat want to tell me what do y'all think about that when they have all these high profile people come and preach at funerals? And not necessarily preach, but just attend. How many people just go and attend? Because just think about it. I don't know where this young man's funeral was today. I don't know what church it was in. I don't know anything. But just imagine when they have these funerals at places like, I'm going to just use it here in Houston. They'll go and have somebody's funeral at the NRG where they play the Houston Texans. And it'll be jam-packed with people. Where are these people coming from? Why are people going to funerals that you have no real connection with these people? I've never understood that. I don't know. God knows I wish you were my wife. Who is that? Robert Replicas. I can be hell on wheels. So why would you wish I was your wife? Because I know deep inside you're a God-fearing individual. That I am, but I'm quite sure there's somebody in close proximity to where you are that's God-fearing. If that's all you're looking for, if that's it, if that's all you're looking for is a God-fearing woman, I'm quite sure if you step outside where you are right now, there's probably 10 people, 10 God-fearing women that's around. You just got to find them. But you won't, unfortunately, you're not finding them on Gbutterfly TV. Okay, let's keep going. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Hey, Charlie, thanks for coming over to Gbutterfly TV. Let us know where you're watching us from. I'm not sure that they are actually there to support the family. And see, that's my concern. What is their purpose? You don't know these people. I don't want to go to people's funeral that I don't know. I think I just would feel like I'm faking and shaking, I used to hear people say, to go sit in a funeral just because of my celebrity, but I have no real connection with the person who died or the family. That's good. You could be hell on wheels the way I could roll you out. Muff Dad, you've been doing real good the last couple of days you've been on here. It's good you can be hell on wheels that way I could roll you out. Everybody. Anybody watch my... Sometimes it's funny. I don't know why they'll get on here and want attention. I don't know why. Blessed. We're blessed in the city. We're blessed on TikTok. That is. You know what? I could be so silly. You know what? I don't even need nobody else to laugh with me. I crack my own self up. We getting ready to go. I think I got 2 more topics I'm going to talk about, and we're going to wind this on down. Oh, excuse me. You know that the Philadelphia Eagles is going to the Super Bowl, right? Well, today, their offensive lineman, his name is Josh Seals. He was indicted on RAPE charges 10 days before the Super Bowl. Now, I didn't get a chance to do a lot of investigation before I came on here, but I heard that this charge is from 2019. So it's been 4 years. But somehow they waited until 10 days before the Super Bowl, and now they want to charge him with RAPE, indict him for that. Do you think maybe somebody who just a little pissed off that the Eagles are going to the Super Bowl and they went back to this old charge? What y'all think? Because it's been 4 years, and now they indicted him today, 10 days before the Super Bowl. Let me see. I'm going by real fast. Some people want you to think that they are a good person. And they probably devil in sheep clothing. What's his name? His name is... Josh Seals from the Philadelphia Eagles. They're going to the Super Bowl in 2 weeks. They'll be playing in 2 weeks. I'm excited about the Super Bowl. I love watching the Super Bowl game. Anybody having Super Bowl parties? If you're having a Super Bowl party, put it in the chat if you're having a Super Bowl party. Cam Marie says she having a Super Bowl party. Are you like Super Bowl? Are you saying you're having a Super Bowl party? Between me or my brother, one of us will have a Super Bowl party. We went to his house last year. We might go back to his house or they may come over here. We'll see. All right. So we got some more likes. The likes that went up to almost 7,000, y'all. That's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. But yeah. So when I saw that today, I'm like, somebody don't like the fact that this man is on the Philadelphia Eagles and they going to the Super Bowl. And 4 years later, now he's indicted. Indicted. Now, if he did it, you know me, I feel like they should be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. But I just find it kind of shaky that this just came out and they getting ready to go to the Super Bowl. Now, I don't know how good of a player he is. I may have to go and look up some of his stats just to see, if he a real good offensive lineman or if he a third stringer. All right, now this is another. How many of you previously used to look at Sweetie Pies on the OWN channel? Alicia say that the other team called in a favor. It could be. It just sounded a little suspect to me. Y'all know I had to drink out of my Butterfly glass again that my mom got me. That's so cute. And yes, Bria, I'm drinking the limeade simply. You know what? I take that back. No, it's not. This one not simply. It tastes just like Simply, but this is the HEB brand. HEB anything. I love HEB. I could go to HEB and walk around HEB like I'm going to the mall. Okay, you looked at Sweetie Pie. So I'm quite sure some other people who looked at the Sweetie Pies reality show. It came on maybe 5 years ago. And it was on for about 5 years. So it's been on for a while. Well, it was on for a while. Well, if you watch the Sweetie Pie show, you know that Miss Robbie took in her grandson, Andre Montgomery, while he was still in high school. Her grandson actually was from Houston. Her oldest son was murdered many, many, many years ago, which was Andre's father, but he lived here in Houston with his mother. I don't know what was going on with Andre for him to end up in St. Louis with his grandmother, but he started being on the Sweetie Pies reality show. Miss Robbie had two sons, Andre's father and his uncle, Tim Norman. And since his name is in Montgomery, I can only assume that Tim is named after his father. Son, Andre Montgomery, was murdered. And for several years, they were trying to figure out who actually did the murder. Well, come to the present time, find out that his uncle Tim actually paid someone to murder him because he was trying to cash in on a $400,000 life insurance policy that Tim, I think Tim got life in prison. He's in prison. Well, I brought this story up because the young lady who helped Tim locate the nephew, she was the one who located the nephew, told Tim where he was at, and Tim told the killer to go where the nephew was, and he shot and killed his nephew. And I think at the time that Andre was murdered, he was only like 22, very young man, very young. He seemed to have went to St. Louis and really turned his life around once he got with his grandmother and was under a different influence with the people at the restaurant. And he seemed like he was really happy with his cousin Charles. And unfortunately, he was killed and at the hands of his own uncle. But the lady, she has been given 3 years in prison. And they fined her, let's see, Tim actually paid her $10,000. The judge said that he did not give her as much time as she could have gotten. She actually helped when she testified against Tim. And I almost wish they would bring Sweetie Pies back. I love that show. If you watch the show, did anybody, and I don't know why, it always stuck out in my head how rough Tim talked to Andre. And there was one scene, I think it was Andre Charles, who was the nephew, which is Tim's first cousin, and Andre, they were all standing up in the restaurant, and Tim was talking to Andre, and I don't remember what the conversation was, but this scene has always stuck in my head. Andre was saying something to Tim that he didn't like, and you would have to know Tim is a big muscular guy who got super wide hips. And Andre was about in the 11th grade maybe. And I think he didn't like something Andre said, and all you seen him do was pow! He punched Andre so hard in his chest and he made Andre cry. And Andre went and sat and told his grandmother what Tim did to him. And I don't know why that one scene has always stuck out in my head. And so when they say that he was the mastermind behind the murder for hire plot to kill his nephew, that immediately popped in my head. I'm like, I wonder, did he hold some kind of resentment toward Andre? Did he feel like Andre was going to get some of his inheritance that he maybe felt he was supposed to get from his mother, Miss Robbie, who owns the Sweetie Pies franchise? Because Miss Robbie would only have two heirs, Tim, which is her son, and then her one grandson. Well, no, at the time, Tim had one son. He was a little boy at the time, a real little boy. So I guess her only true heir was Tim, because that's her only child. But then she had two grandsons. So I wonder when Andre came to St. Louis and started being in his grandmother's life on a regular basis and was on the TV show, did Tim feel like he was taking away something that he felt should have been rightfully his? I watched it from the very first episode into the last episode of the final season. I really thought it was a great show to watch. Everybody I felt like brought something to that series, including Tim. Tim had a lot of drive. He had a lot of initiative. He wanted to really build up his mother's brand, although sometimes he went about doing things wrong. I think he really wanted to see his mother's brand really grow. But I don't know if it was the jealousy or something that would have him act like that. Have you eaten there? No. Unfortunately, I've never gone to St. Louis, so I haven't eaten there. Now, I do know quite a few people who have, and I've heard mixed reviews. Either it was good or it was bad. I never heard anything that was like right in the middle. Tim was jealous. And that's what I was thinking. Maybe he had to be jealous and was thinking Andre was going to get something that he felt should have been rightfully his and solely his because he was his mother's only child. What's ironic is Andre, if I'm not mistaken, the house he was in when he was murdered, I think was on the same street his dad got killed on many years ago. Because I think by the time the series went off, I think she had at least 3 restaurants in St. Louis. The original Sweetie Pies. Then she had Upper Crust. And then she opened up a smaller kind of grab-and-go restaurant. I think it was burgers and fries and just a quick little in-and-out spot. And then Tim, he went to California and he opened up a spot in Soho. I want to say he opened up a second location somewhere else in California. And Tim actually came to Houston and opened up a Sweetie Pies here in Houston. I didn't go and eat over there. I always saw that everybody complained about how high his food was. And he was selling soul food when you can go to the hood and go to a soul food restaurant and get you a whole plate pre-pandemic. You can get your whole soul food plate for about $11, $12. Now you're going to pay about $18 for a soul food plate. But they were saying how his prices were ridiculously high and people just wasn't feeling it, especially when soul food is what we know here in the South. So from him coming from St. Louis trying to come with his recipes and everything, he would have to come with something far better than what we already had. And the price point needed to be where we were accustomed to paying. And I think he priced himself out. And I also heard that the food was not really good here at his Sweetie Pies location. And it didn't stay open very long. Harvey. I think Harvey is what came through and flooded out the restaurant over there, if I'm not mistaken. At Simps, you can still get soul food place for about $12. That's pretty good. Simps on Highway 3 now, right? I know they were in Galveston. I do. They have 2 locations now. Yes, ma'am. And their plates are heavy. Oh, really? Where is the one in Galveston? I know the location in Texas City is across from the fish place. Simps, $15. Okay, see, to me, that's reasonable. I think his fried chicken place was starting off at about $22. And yes, they don't have the one again. Oh, they closed the one in Galveston. That was a staple in Galveston for a long time. So I'm really surprised that 12 is the new 5. You sure right. 40, 40 dog, I didn't see you ease back in here. How you doing? 40 dog done been over here a couple of times at Gbutterfly TV, and I do appreciate you coming back. I really do. I get the kids meal, and it's still a lot of food. Okay, that's a way to get around that high price. It was better, and it was better tasting. Oh, when it was again, I wonder if they have different cooks. You know, sometime if a restaurant move, I'm gonna just use their restaurant for example, and I don't know this to be a fact. I'm just using it as an example. If they were, because I think they were like on 23rd, 24th, somewhere in Broadway. Let's just say the cooks they had lived in Oleander or lived in a neighborhood really close. And you know, in Galveston, you really don't need a car. You can ride the bus wherever you have to go. So let's just say those cooks have been there for years, and they all of a sudden they decide to move across the water to the mainland. So now you have the cooks who may not be able to make it to work. So now you got to get new cooks in a new town and who may not really know how to make those recipes like the original cooks they had in Galveston. I don't know that to be a fact if that's what happened, but I'm just thinking that's a big possibility. Let's see, going to New Orleans in 2 weeks. Miss Anita Baker and Babyface are performing on Friday, February the 19th. Oh, that sounds like that's going to be a good concert. I have seen Babyface in concert multiple times, and you will not be disappointed. He gives you your money's worth and then some. So if you listening to me, if you've ever get an opportunity to go watch Babyface, go watch Babyface. Birthday present. That's how to keep my black queen happy. Hey, that's right. Do whatever you got to do to keep her happy. Keep her happy if she keep you happy. And if she's not keeping you happy, asking her why she's not keeping you happy, figure out what you could be doing to make her a little bit more happy, and then she'll keep you happy. No, but I think that's great. I think it's great when people are married and still tend to do a lot of things together and go experience different things together. That's a beautiful thing. I'm gonna let everybody go because I'm a little hungry, and I know everybody got to get and go to work tomorrow. And if you don't, I do. So I know I need to go lay down. Now, last topic. You know, the other day we were talking about these. I think it was 3 nursing schools in Florida, and the diplomas for 15,000. They sold over 7,600. 22 nurses in Georgia have been contacted by the Georgia Board of Nursing due to them allegedly obtaining their fake diplomas from those people in Florida. Excuse me. So they sent out the letters on January 17th, and they say to date nobody has responded to them. So that means that there's a great possibility that 22 nurses are working in Georgia somewhere and have not had the proper amount of practical training. They were just able to go and pass a state board test. That's scary. Because just think about nurses can work in all type of places. Nurses can work in your children's school. They can work in your parents' nursing home. They can work at hospitals, rehab centers. They can work at various businesses may hire nurses to come and work depending on what they do. They may have nurses that work at daycare centers. They may have them that work at plants, industrial plants. They may need a nurse to work there in case some of the employees get sick. These nurses can work in places that you would not imagine. Just imagine the nurses that's going to do home health, where they're going into people's homes and treating elderly people or people who are handicapped and can't get out to an actual hospital or clinic. And these nurses are going to treat these people who don't have any practical training and just were smart enough to go and pass a test, but may not know how to apply what they're testing, may not know how to apply that in real time. I hope they find all 7,600 of these people who bought those diplomas. I hope they find them and make them take their licenses away until they actually go and complete all of the training that they were supposed to complete. It's scary. I heard about that in Florida and Georgia. Yeah, it was all on the news about 2 weeks ago. They should all go to jail. Now, I wouldn't necessarily go to jail. I read somewhere that some of the nurses that were just buying degrees couldn't even read. Okay, if they can't really read, just imagine them having to dispense medication. That's scary. It really is. So I hope they find all of these individuals. I'm not going to say women, even though women make up a high percentage of nurses. I'm just going to say people because they're women and men. And I'm quite sure women and men bought their diplomas. You know, somebody who's trying to take the lazy route. I hope they find all of them and take their license away until they go back to school and finish all of that practical training they had to take. That's so scary. I would hate to think of my children or my grandchildren or my parents or siblings or someone that I care about. Not just that, somebody that I don't even know. I would hate to see anybody be subjected to those nurses who have not gotten all of the training that they necessarily need. I really like these. I love earrings. I just think a woman's supposed to wear earrings every day. Every day, I think a woman should have on earrings, in addition to just regular stuff like deodorant and all that kind of stuff, lotion. Earrings, and I think a woman should have on perfume every day. I have a 5-year-old granddaughter and a 2-year-old granddaughter. And when I get them dressed, I make them put perfume. Not make them, but I ask, now the oldest one, I ask, you want perfume? And she's so used to getting perfume from me. She'd be like, yes, ma'am. So I say, okay, you know what you got to do. So we have this little running thing that we do. When it's time for me to squirt her perfume, she turn around in a fast circle so I can hit her all the way around. And now the little 2-year-old, I just squirt her. But my sons, when they were little boys, from the time my sons were 1 year old until they had to start doing it for themselves, I would buy cologne and just put cologne on my little boys. I just think people are supposed to just really smell good. Let's see. No, they should be banned from obtaining licensure. Okay. Girl, they really need to go to jail. They hurting people knowing they don't know what they are doing. You got earrings, I got ties. Oh, okay, Norman, you like ties? No, no more lies. You like ties? Well, I thank everybody who came over to Gbutterfly TV today. We had a lot of topics. Let me get this off here. We had a lot of that we talked about. The chat was real engaging. Crystal is the winner of the Crazy Girlfriend segment that we had today. Because when you told me that you wrapped this guy's car in saran wrap so he couldn't leave, hey, you topped it. That was funny as hell to me, and I'm probably gonna think about that tomorrow. But everybody, thank you so much for coming over to Gbutterfly TV. I absolutely enjoyed you. I thank you, and just look for me around the same time tomorrow. I'll try to come on about 7:30 tomorrow if I can get to it. It'll be 7:15, 7:30, somewhere in that range, Central Standard Time. But thank